Episode 148 of the BIC podcast. This week we are main topic adjacent. There is no specific main topic. We're just adjacent. Adjacent, left, right, center, all of it. Lots of adjacency. Eric's a big fan. He's a big fan of the adjacencies. So
That's true.
we got a lot of that. So we're going to talk about a little bit of a mishmash of different sports topics. We've got one YouTube topic that I think will be fun to talk about, but we do have the usual segments. We got silly card of the week, we got pickups, we got all kinds of stuff. I got some mail related stories and a little bit of a mini music review. That and more on this episode of the BIC podcast. Yes, under the watchful eyes of Brett Favre. Eric, you know it's good when it's a Monday that we're recording this, and in the brand new version 2 of the BIC mug, patent pending.
Very nice.
Yes, patent pending. I actually on a Monday was drinking an IPA, and I've already finished one, so I'll probably be cracking open a second one. That's that kind of Monday, Brandon. It's that kind of we're that kind of start of the week. But let me tell you. But despite that, I do.
Don't go Sanchez.
Yeah, listen. We're gonna have a discussion about that. Right there fits right into my sensibility. So we're gonna have a brief. Again, it's gonna be a brief discussion on it. We will touch on a couple of different interrelated sports topics because there's still a lot, that needs to be determined on that. But it is an interesting story, so we'll touch on it. But before I go any further, Eric, I would be remiss if I did not make mention of we are now 30 days out. The countdown timer's back. We're here. 30 days, ladies and gentlemen. 30 days. And not only that, here is what's coming up. So this is 30 days until the Expo happening at the International Center in Mississauga. Again, not Toronto. Even though it's called the Toronto Sports Card Expo, it's not Toronto. Yes, it's Toronto adjacent. Again with the adjacency. See the adjacency theme? It's interspersed all through the episode. But nonetheless, we are 30 days out, which means, Eric, it's getting real.
It's getting real. I'm going to have to start making plans.
Yeah. Hotels are booked. Jars of mayonnaise right now by the carton are en route for individuals that remain nameless. It's happening. It's happening, people. It's getting close. So that's going to be exciting. That's going to be fun. And then on top of everything else, by the time we reconvene in the next couple of weeks, obviously we'll be under 30 days. But here's kind of a fun little one. We record these on Mondays. So the next episode, technically, I'm recording it on Canadian Thanksgiving, which is a different month than American Thanksgiving. And because I don't give a fuck about Thanksgiving, I'll be doing it anyway. But, Brandon, if that isn't good enough, the week after that, we will be recording on October the 20th, episode that will drop on October 21st. I think, and I'm springing this on you guys now, but I think October 20th, we're going to do it live. Now, why are we going to do it live? There is a reason.
150.
It's not just... Yes, but there is actually... Brandon, you know how synergies, the cosmics, and the universe likes to coincide? Not only will it be episode 150, Brandon, but you know what? There is actually a secondary reason why I thought about doing it as live.
We'll be close to Halloween?
No. The reason why that I am going to be doing it as a live is because episode 150, it just so happens, Eric, that it is 5 years and 1 day of the streak of consecutive lives on this channel every single week. October 19th, 2020 was the beginning of the streak that will be at 5 years on October the 19th. That's a Sunday. But on the 20th, it will be a live episode and be another live 5 years, 1 day on episode 150. Boom. Couldn't have planned any better.
It's all coming together.
Couldn't have planned it better if I tried, Brendan. Couldn't have planned it better if I tried.
I think it says a lot that you and then, me and the rest of the guys who have joined you have been that consistent for so long. I think it says that we're losers and we don't have a life at all.
Well, I was thinking we have done this show, I'm pretty sure, over 2 years now. Just this show.
Probably sounds about right.
And
Well,
I am
you
inconsistent.
looked up the specific episode. You looked up the specific number. Was it like in the 30s?
Yeah, I think it was like 38 or something like that. 32, 38, something like that.
I'll figure it out. I will get some
It's
answers.
Luxury Crocs. That was episode 1.
Yes, Luxury Crocs. Oh,
Yep.
see, Eric, I used to be so good with the titles. The titles are so good. Luxury Crocs was a good one.
But what I wanted to say about that is I am inconsistent as inconsistent can get when it comes to YouTube content. And I've even, I think Eric's missed one recording and I've missed one. And my excuse was, and I believe it was anniversary. It's either anniversary or my wife's birthday, one of the two. I had a reason. So that says a lot about doing the show and just the conversation and the camaraderie and everything, because it's easy to stay consistent and keep going. So also I'll announce it here as if it matters, because if people found it here, then whatever.
I thought you were going to say autograph. I thought you were going to say autograph signing at the expo. Go on.
Well, we could do that too if you want, but no. Carlos figured out the what's it called, collaborations thing. So it'll be on both channels now. Hopefully that'll help pick up some as well if people find it. I kind of tried to move it up in my tab on my page, so that way people would see it more. So anyway, just wanted to get that out of the way. Thank you, both of you.
Yeah, good stuff. It is a new feature that I've tried out. It seems to be working. Like, it puts it on different people's feeds basically.
Oh,
so
can we put it on my YouTube feed too?
I could, but you don't really. You have a channel in theory.
I do.
Your channel adjacent. Your channel adjacent.
I'm a channel adjacent, and I made a video once. It was
made a video once.
Seconds. Yes. I went, "Hey, this is a card. Do you like it? There you go." And then that was the end.
Brandon, I'm gonna try it because I can have multiple collaborators. So if it'll let me do it, it'll let me do it. I'll give it a shot. No harm in trying. Like, I can give it a go. But I figured it was a new feature.
That would make me too legit to quit.
I was trying to figure it out. Like, we were in a different place. We were going somewhere. I don't know. Did I mention y'all that it's a slow news week again? Did I mention that at the time? I felt like I led with that, and I feel like you're getting a taste of it. So anyway, Brandon, to give you the factual correctness on this, you are correct that we have surpassed 2 years, and the exact date is September 12th, 2023. That was
a couple weeks ago.
Yes, that will look episode 38. BIC episode number 38, 110.
I even had that right.
Episodes ago. 110 episodes ago.
Losers.
All of it's coming together, Brandon. All of it's coming together. You see that?
We're losers. But
so next week,
oh well.
Canadian Thanksgiving, you're all invited, but you get nothing. Like real Thanksgiving. You're all invited and you get nothing. And episode 150 is 5 years and 1 day of consecutive live streams on this channel every single week. And as Brandon mentioned, and as pointed out with the Eric thing as well, they have each missed an episode, but I have missed nothing. I've been here for one live every week for 5 years and 1 day in a couple weeks.
Makes you a super loser. We're just regular losers. You're a super loser.
Ooh.
Be envious. Be envious, Eric.
Does the CFL at least give you games on Canadian Thanksgiving?
They might.
I had to ask.
Maybe it's a Monday, so I don't know. Yeah, listen, the Detroit Lions are playing on Canadian Thanksgiving. Okay, the Detroit Lions they got nothing better to do.
They play on American Thanksgiving too, usually.
Well, Brandon, wait. For the first time tonight. To be fair. Since it is a Monday, there's at least 2 American teams playing on Canadian Thanksgiving.
There you have it.
Yeah. Good job, 12th province. Good job. Respect.
Is it next Monday?
Yeah, next Monday, October 13th. Yeah.
That's Columbus Day, right?
Maybe.
I think it's Columbus Day here.
I think Columbus should have all the days he wants. He pretended to discover America once. That was the thing. Why not?
Hey.
I'm looking it up. I want to see which Monday Night Football. Now you got me curious. So who's playing on Canadian Thanksgiving? Who we got? Well, I'll find the schedule in the meantime. Anyway, so we got our usual segments. Again, it is a news light week. We're just gonna have some fun. So, but I wanted to give you those programming notes because now you know that the next couple ones will have a little fun with it. Maybe I'll do something. Maybe I'll play around with the overlay and do a little Thanksgiving theme just to have a little bit of fun with it. Like I said, it's not really as big a deal here as it is over there. So we avoid a lot of the. There is still turkey. So people still do have turkey. That is the thing. Have nice dinners and all that. That's the thing. But really, we avoid a lot of the. We don't necessarily, family get-togethers are a thing, but you avoid a little bit. You avoid that weird uncle that you don't want to actually talk to. Yeah, we avoid a lot of that stuff. I'm just saying. Maybe for the best. Think about it.
Can you teach me how to avoid people I don't want to talk to?
I could.
I'd appreciate it.
You could teach them how to be put into a position where they're stuck having to talk whether they want to or not in perpetuity. Think about it. Brandon, it's pretty good. In perpetuity is quite powerful.
It is. It sucks. I don't know how this happened. It sucks, though.
You should learn to read the fine print. Don't use your concussion as an excuse. You were of sound mind at the time.
Okay, I got to ask this too.
Yeah, I've never been
trying to figure out Eric's shirt. The putting on the foil, okay?
What?
Because in my mind, I'm thinking that should be like a head, and you're putting on the tinfoil hat, and instead it's a fist, and I don't understand why.
Have you ever seen the movie Slapshot?
Okay, this is a secret that you all may not know about me. I do not retain movies, okay?
It's Slapshot.
Yes, it doesn't matter. My wife can vouch for this. I can watch a movie and literally watch it again and not. I can watch TV shows and watch them again.
Brandon,
it's a concussion thing, Eric.
I understand that. Okay,
Brandon, you know what this means? May I recommend The Usual Suspects? The twist may surprise you, and then you can watch it next week. The twist may surprise you.
It is a bad thing. Like, I have my favorite movies, like, I've talked about Die Hard and Home Alone and stuff, and I know them. But if it's like, she hates it because I don't enjoy going to the movie theater because it's $20 to go watch a movie that I'm not going to remember. So it's like, you know how people can quote movie lines, they know the
like
actors, all of that stuff?
Yeah, like
that is not. I am the furthest from that person. I don't remember any of that stuff. So,
have you thought about Brandon? Have you thought about the possibility, maybe since you already have tattoos anyway? Have you considered about the possibility of just taking a page out of Memento? By the way, a great movie, and just tattooing certain lines on your body. You could literally, tattoo. You could tattoo putting on the foil. You could tattoo Kaiser Soze.
I will actually say I do have a line tattooed on my body, but I'm not going to go into it because it's a sad memento, and I don't want to bring the room down.
Yeah,
it's from Pulp Fiction.
It's actually from a letter that my brother wrote me the first year I had moved out of state, and there was a line in his letter when he was 10 years old that after he passed away really hit me. And I had it copied from his letter in his handwriting and put on my shoulder. It said, "Know that I will always be with you, and I know you will always be with me."
Well, good thing you didn't tell us to bring the room down. Thanks, bud.
So I already knew he was. Eric. The best part is I already knew it was going to be about his brother, and that's why, Brandon. We're talking about the front, and we're talking about Kaiser Soze. Kaiser Soze.
Yeah,
Kaiser Soze.
I mean, I only have one.
Work with me here, man. Work with me here, man. Work with me here, man. Work with me here. I'm trying to read the room, my man. Read the room.
I could just keep growing this out, which I did trim it a little bit. Hopefully, it'll start growing more. I could just grow this out and then have a tablet put on there, and then I could roll it up and then unroll it. Right?
It could all work.
Yeah.
So Eric, you'll be pleased to know that on Canadian Thanksgiving there will be an NFL doubleheader. You got two games. You got the Bills take the now 4-1 Bills. We'll talk about that maybe in a minute. Taking on the Falcons.
Playoffs.
I don't know. And then you got the Bears taking on the Commanders. So you got a doubleheader going on. And by the way, negative points in NFL. The doubleheader is staggered by an hour.
Yeah.
Like one is 17:15 and the other one is 8:15. Dick move, guys. Give them a little space,
And who wants to watch Washington and Chicago on a Monday night?
And the same amount of people that want to watch Buffalo and Atlanta. It's not exactly a compelling matchup either. I'm sorry to break it. Eee. Anyway, but there you go. That's October 3rd. That is the October
search
13th.
for this while we were talking, but you mentioned my shirt of putting on the foil. And
Yes.
it says from Slapshot, and
Mhm.
Steve Carlson himself gave me this shirt. So there's Steve and I. So he's the one that gave me the shirt himself. So that's where it came from. So watch the movie Slapshot with Paul Newman, and we'll critique it. We'll do an old fashioned Because I'm Carlos movie review.
Ooh.
From
Well, I need two more. So Eric, actually, you in your Broken Brilliance. That's a wrestling reference, by the way, for some people catch it. In your Broken Brilliance, you may have given me a good idea, because I am an adherent to the content gods.
Mm-hmm.
The movie reviews ended before we got to 50. Maybe down the road. Hey, you know what? BIC pals, because now there's a couple of you. I want to hear from you, because we could always do a movie review. We could do a couple of movie reviews to finish it and get to 50. We never got to 50 on the original movie review series. We could do a couple of movie reviews. It would only take, I think, about 3 or 4 to get to 50 officially. Slapshot could be one of those.
And we could just sit here all night and go, who owns the Chiefs? Owns.
That could be a join button exclusive, at least for a while, until we torment the rest of you with it. Brandon, I smell ratings. Ratings.
Well, hell, we're doing a music review tonight too. Already gave a spoiler.
We are.
I mean, this can go many different directions, guys.
Brandon, I'm trying to appease the content gods in many ways, because I got to tell you, the hobby news has failed me.
But it's still movies and music is hobby. It's hobby.
It is. Well, Eric, that was always the best part about calling it Because I'm Carlos. It has never been Because I'm Carlos Sports Cards. It does not say that anywhere.
Hey, actually, shout out to him and his influence and me enjoying the time that we had a podcast together, which is kind of what influenced me to ask you guys. Refractor Jones, he just made a post recently showing laser discs instead of cards.
Nice.
His laser disc collection. So it can go many different. It's all a hobby.
You do know that laser discs are refractory.
They are.
Coincidence? I think not. Just saying. Anyway, folks. So Eric, I'm very proud. I'm very proud of us. We're almost 20 minutes in, and I haven't even got to the first image yet. This is where we're at, folks. This is where we're at. All right.
They might like this though.
Listen, if the Friday live streams have taught us nothing else, it is that the further we deviate from the hobby, the better it is. Honestly, the further we deviate, the better it becomes. All right. So I do have a couple of comments from last week. So let me open that up here. Okay. So comments from last week. As always, we thank you for your participation and appreciate it. Feel free to put comments in. Listen, I said it half jokingly, but the BIC pals and others, if you would like us to do a handful of movies, but it can't just be random movies. Slapshot would be a fun one. That'd be a fun one. We can do that.
It would get me into watching movies.
Sports related. Yeah. That would be my pick.
Yeah, pick something sports related, something in the stick in the theme, because the original series was the action movie show. It was all action movies. Now I'm trying to remember. I know we did a bunch of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. That's Eric, I wonder if we ever did. What was the one where Jean-Claude Van Damme was fighting and he was in a hockey arena? There was one.
Yes.
Well, the name is escaping me right now.
Yeah, he was the fire chief of the arena. He had his daughter with him to see the game against. It was Pittsburgh It was at the Igloo, so it was the Pittsburgh Penguins. And there was a terrorist. It was very Die Hardy-ish.
It was called Sudden Death.
And it was very Die Hardy-ish. And they were going to blow up the Igloo, and he had to save the day. And of course, he did.
Well, I was going to say, tying it into sports, I have a sealed VHS copy of Bloodsport.
There you go. Bloodsport we did do. We did do Bloodsport in the original series. Although, Eric, I don't think we did Sudden Death. We did do other Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. We might not have done Sudden Death.
Sudden Death again.
That would be hockey adjacent. I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just throwing it out there.
Die-hardian. So I would
Just throwing it
appreciate
out.
it. And so,
So look, I'm taking suggestions. I'm saying it half jokingly, but if there's enough interest, we could probably make it work.
yeah, Die-hardian. Right there,
Yeah.
baby.
I'm just saying if there's enough interest, we can make it happen. Just let me know. Suggestions in the comments. All right, let's move on. So comments from last week. So Oren Cards here says, bravo, Octavia. Thank you. Appreciate you. Baz here, baseball card curmudgeon, says, Bobbles pick is straight out of Sons of Anarchy. Beauty.
I want to comment to that in reply. Okay. Coincidence, he referenced Sons of Anarchy. But did anybody ever expect Jax from Sons of Anarchy to play Ed Gein in this new twisted Netflix Ed Gein series? Because that was weird. That actually, the whole show was weird, but Jax being Gein was really unexpected.
I know who Ed Gein is. I know that several movies have been inspired by his horrific acts, such as Psycho and Hannibal Lecter books and Silence of the Lambs and all that stuff.
With the lotion in the basket.
Yeah. I know I've watched a biography on the man, which it was horribly disturbing that a real human did this crap. But I gotta be honest, I really don't want to watch a movie knowing that.
Well, isn't it a series? It's
8 episodes.
Call it whatever. I don't have any interest in watching it, and especially because like this stuff really happened.
Eric, we already established parameters that the sports thing is kind of a thing that plays into this. Yeah, but yeah. I appreciate your point. I never saw Sons of Anarchy. I know of it. I saw the first 5 episodes, and then Michelle and I never went back to watching it because of time restraints, and we said we have to start over and get through it.
It's a decent show.
I'm sure. Yeah, stuff like that I think is usually well written. So as long as they did a good job with it.
There was a spin-off to it.
It wasn't as good.
I don't remember the name of it, but there was a spin-off also.
Mayans?
Yes, Mayans. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
There you go. So, thank you, Baz. Appreciate your comment. Dan's Vintage Baseball PC says, the joke shill with a Y is sitting right there ready to be teed up. It is. I was originally going to talk a little bit more about it, but I felt like I covered my main thoughts on the whole Probstein thing. I actually got to elaborate a little bit more. I will say that maybe one thing I didn't get a chance to talk. Actually, no, I did. I did get a chance to talk about it was the Dustin interview. I talked about that on the live. One other thing I got to hear after the live is that good old BG did an interview with Probstein because of course he did. Of course he did. And he's very supportive, by the way. Spoiler. He's very supportive. And I'm sitting there to listen to his argument. As usual, they're terrible. But anyway, whatever. I stand by my original statements. I will amend my last week's utterances with the following. I still would love to see a viable competitor to eBay, if nothing else, than to encourage them to do better. That's number one. So regardless, I don't care who does it. If they get enough traction that it forces eBay to do better, that's a win for everybody. Win-win. That would be good. I do think there's some fatal flaws in Probstein's logic in this design. Even if it wasn't Probstein, it was somebody else, and he did the same design, my answer would be the same. There's some fatal flaws in this logic. And I think in a lot of ways it helps make show bidding more possible, not less. So I had a lot of critiques about that on the live, just giving you the short version. So that's my opinion, is that I don't think it does a very good job preventing. I think it creates certain issues. That's my opinion. But to each their own. If somebody wants to give it a try, by all means, report back your findings. I'm not going to be jumping that bandwagon. I won't be at the front of the line to give that one a go with the issues that I foresee. But I will keep an eye on it. Regardless, I will keep an eye out on it because it's worthwhile at least observing from a distance to see how many people take up on it. Oh, and that's what I'm going to be curious about.
Something, sorry, I meant to have this up and mention it.
Yeah. While you're saying that, by the way, so I'm warning you guys, as we're recording this, I just got a notification that my package is out for delivery. So if I randomly vanish for a moment, bear with me. But yes.
So I had made this mention, and I am not any way affiliated, connected. I don't know the ins and outs. But this is someone that, through the SGC submissions and everything else, friends on Facebook, He actually tagged Leighton Sheldon, who is known in the hobby, in this.
Yep.
But apparently, I had made a mention in the last episode about it would be nice to have something that you could like add a watch list for all the sites or whatever. It kind of keeps an eye on things. And I
Okay.
guess there is a program that is in the works. I think it's nearing late stages called Auction Wire. And the way it's described here, your AI wingman to discover, find, and buy your grails across all major collectibles platforms, marketplaces, and auctions all automatically. So it sounds like there is something in the works to kind of check all the different marketplaces and everything, and if something that you're looking for. So it was funny. I seen that after we had talked about and mentioned that. So
It's a good update. Nice. Well, we'll cross our fingers. Look, it would be good at this point with the amount of marketplaces out there. It would be nice to have something that would make it a little easier to find stuff. So that's good. So thank you, Dan. Appreciate that. My favorite comment of the week is Bob Boozles. Now, I want to see. Can I? So here's the thing. Actually, you know
he
what?
did very well on that.
Oh, you know what? Hold on. I want to be able to show this, Eric. I really feel like as I'm saying, as I'm explaining this, I want to be able to show it because I don't think you guys will get the full impact if I don't actually show the comment on the screen as I explain this. Normally, I don't bother with this because obviously it's a lot of extra work. But on the fly, I think I can manage this. Okay, here we go. I think I can show it to you. I can share it here on the screen. So, folks, I will read the comment regardless for the audio, folk. By the way, we are up to date on the audio. We are caught up. So the most recent
That's a
episode
shocker.
is already up there. I know. Listen, I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here. I'm trying to increase production values, and we're keeping up on the audio. All right. So here's Bob Boozle's comment. I'm going to read it, Eric. Not as written, but as intended. But nonetheless, if you see the visual, you'll understand. I understand Eric's misgivings about the new platform. As a late adopter, I'd rather wait until the platform gets over any early hiccups and get a sense of how well cards ship. I like Carlos's thoughts that more platforms may inspire eBay to evolve and offer incentive to retain our business. Indeed. On the screen, you may pause and appreciate the extra mile that Bob Boozle took. And that is what you get if you observe the video version. Then you fully get to absorb it. Bonus points to Bob Boozle. I appreciate that. Brendan, that's my favorite comment of the week. Easily. Good comments all around. I appreciate everybody's participation regardless. We appreciate you. But Bob Boozle took it the extra. Mwah. Chef's kiss. Appreciate it. Good stuff. Good stuff. So thank you all. Appreciate you all in the comments. And believe it or not, almost half an hour in, we finally got through the first segment. All right, we did it. Woo. I'm glad we started early this week.
Oh.
All right. So we're going to do Silly Card of the Week. So Silly Card of the Week is brought to us by our friends at AMG Collectibles. AMGcollectibles.ca, AMG Collectibles YouTube channel. And we will be back this week. I will be recording the episode as is scheduled as normal with Blair. No Collector of the Scallops this week because he's still on vacation, relishing his moment on vacation. But we will talk about a couple of things that came in the store, and they've got a couple of Hockey Card Gong Show repacks in stock. They are available. I will answer a few questions about those because we did get some comments on that. And also, they are still available, and it appears, Eric, the Hockey Card Gong Show is selling like the hotcakes. If I get a chance to do a video, record, and talk about the whole Saskatchewan Card Show, they were able to sell through a chunk of them at the Saskatchewan Card Show, in addition to through the website and their Discord, Patreon. Yes,
Everybody's chasing the Jason Robertsons.
I'd love to hear some feedback and from people who have purchased them and what they think about them, and I'd love to see some videos of people opening them and see what kind of stuff's coming out. I'm very curious, and
there is some on the Instagrams. There was definitely some people at the Saskatchewan Card Show who definitely opened them up.
And like I said, I hope it's very successful, and I hope the customers are happy. I hope the the guys over at Hockey Card Gong Show are happy. I hope the guys over at and the lady, the boss over at AMG are happy. I hope it all works out, and that's what I hope.
They put multiple Jason Robertson in there. It can't go wrong. Just saying.
Refer to recent Bobble and Ball Cards videos for the Not Pump Pump. By the way, there was a 23-minute propaganda segment that was really a mass Jason Robertson pump. That's what I heard. So
No, it
y'all
wasn't.
interpret
Oh,
y'all
no.
interpret it however you
No.
will. I know what I saw, Eric. I know what I saw. I know what I
believe
saw.
you. I believe you.
I'm just saying. Anyway, so real quick. So that's so we thank them as always for supporting the channel, the podcast, and the silly card of the week. Now, we will share a couple of them. First, I've got the results for you from last week. And again, all votes are counted. It is the only true democracy in this world. And this result will once again prove we do not play favorites. It is the will of the people.
Come on.
Let me share with you the result here. On the screen, now, I give you
Come on.
Picture Day was the winner with
Ooh.
46% of the popular vote. Yosemite Sam was second. Narrow margin, but
It
Yosemite
was
Sam
actually
was second.
pretty. This was a pretty close one for all of us.
It actually stayed pretty close for a while. Picture Day took it.
I gotta be
basically
honest.
surged at the end.
I gotta be honest. Since the vote's over, so I can't sway it in my direction anymore. I think the story behind Picture Day is just insane. So not
I thought
only
it was funny.
not only is the picture kind of silly, and you know it's a silly little picture, but to find out that it's a 14-year-old brother of one of the play, you deserve the win on that one, bud. I gotta be honest.
Well, thank you.
Sometimes it's a story, man. That's why you got to make your case.
Yeah.
You folks get a chance to vote. We count all the votes, so you got to listen. You pick the one that you like, and we go with it. So those are the results from last week. 46 votes, so we thank you for that. A comment on the votes as well, and 4 likes on the post. Again, there will be a community post once again this week for this week's candidates. You can make your favorite selection. Whichever one you deem appropriate will be the silly card of the week. So here it is, first silly card of the week of the month of October, 2025. Let us begin here.
Oh God, I recognize this.
Leaf Exotic Mythical. Now, this is combining layers to this, Brandon. There's levels to this.
Oh Jesus.
Not only is it in a BGS style leaf customized slab, it's already pretty good, but it is the pre-production proof. Now, this is a Ric Flair. It's a clear cut leprechaun. We talked about the leprechaun before. The leprechaun is infamous in history.
Oh yeah.
But I think the important part, Brandon, I really cannot emphasize this enough. The leprechaun itself is always good, but we've been
It
down
looks
the
like he's
leprechaun road
riding
before.
piggyback ride.
There's something going on here. And Ric Flair's face is what sells it to me. Look at his face and the leprechaun. It's the whole thing. It's a tapestry. It's not just one element, Eric. It's got to be the whole thing. Remember, the ethos here is silly card of the week. I got to tell you, there's a lot of silliness going on this page.
Yeah, there's some silliness.
Mm-hmm.
I
So,
just hate that leprechaun so much.
Indeed. All right. So that is our first candidate. Now, let me move on to our second candidate here. So let me go over to the thumbnails. Boom. This was a classic. This was a little bit of an OG. So Brandon, if you want to explain this one, I can add a little flavor to this as well, a little personal story to it, but please, by all means.
Well, I was actually browsing around, watching the game. I was like, let me see what's up for Vladdy Sr. in homage to his boy hitting the Grand Slam. And I came across this, which Carlos immediately pointed out was 1998 Topps, set that he said he enjoyed very much. But the picture is kind of like, it's silly in itself, the way he's laying there with the ball, all that. But it almost gives that depth perception look to like some of Eric's favorites. Vladdy was a big dude, but he kind of, I don't know, just the way it's formed. And he's obviously not on a baseball field because there's trees in the background, which you're not going to have. But yeah, I just thought, you know what? I don't expect to win, but in homage to Vladdy Jr. and his Grand Slam, which, by the way, the only father-son combo in Major League history for dad and son to hit Grand Slams in the postseason is Vlad Sr. and Vlad Jr. So, for the Canadians, Toronto, Montreal, Senior, Junior, I thought it was a good choice.
Indeed. And I got two things that I'll add. First one I'll share now, and then the second one at the end of the segment I'll actually share a little piece to this as well. One other thing, part of the reason why I was able to identify it so quickly is that it was a favorite set of mine. Part of the reason it was a favorite set of mine is that this is around the time that I was opening a decent amount of packs still, late 90s here. And actually, as part of a collecting group that I was part of that I've talked about in the past, they would do case buys. Now remember, this is 1998. This is not like our current day where, cases and breakers are as common as they are today. Most of the time it would be somebody who would maybe have a connection with the distributor, and they'd be able to get their hands on maybe a case or a bunch of boxes or whatever. And what they would do actually is they would buy a case and be able to get it at cost, and then transfer over the savings over to the rest of us. Now, I am in Canada, which even back then, number one, you got the exchange rate, and number two, you got it. But even then, with all that taken into account and shipping, I was actually able to get boxes as part of a combined buy with the case break at what was still a reasonable rate, cheaper than today, which is sad if you think about it. Shipping, exchange rate, all that, still cheaper than what it is today. And I opened a couple of boxes in 1998 back then. And this was one of the cards that was available in there. I love there's actually some good pictures in the 1998 tops. If you go back and look at it, I think they did a good job with these. And the parallel, the minted in Cooperstown, very subtle, but I was a fan. I liked it. So if you enjoy that, I think there's some good stuff in there. Good set. I liked a lot of it. Again, straightforward. It's nice. It's a nice gold border kind of thing. But yeah, they got some good photos included in that one. So I do have some fond memories that I have for that specific set for those reasons. And Eric, as always, just sees a mascot and he can't help himself. But it's the Rally Monkey. It's also the reason that the Angels actually won a World Series.
It's a monkey in a baseball uniform, and it looks like he's singing into the baseball bat, like he's singing some kind of love song into it. I don't know, man. I just
that monkey prevented Barry Bonds from winning a World Series.
Yeah,
Barry Bonds was killing at that World Series, and the Angels took it from him because the Rally Monkey destroyed his soul. True story.
Yeah, it's a monkey on a baseball card, and he's wearing a baseball uniform.
Listen, the Angels won a World Series because of that monkey. Fish Boy right now would be like, "Can I just clone the fucking monkey? Seriously, I just need something." Think about
it. So I was just it came up at work, and I'm just like, what the hell is this? And I'm just flipping through cards, sorting them. Hold on, what did I just see? It's a monkey. So that's an official Topps baseball card, Anaheim Angels, and it's a monkey. And I thought that was really silly.
Well, that is Eric's logic for that. And I didn't mention it before we hit record. So Eric, if the Rally Monkey moves you, can I interest you in Gritty?
That is also quite silly. And
think about it, Eric.
Yeah.
He's 7 feet tall and 225 pounds.
That should be
$125 Canadian.
Oh, they can get a whole bag of them, bring them home, and have private time.
I sense, Brandon, that he's not a fan. I sense it. It's subtle. I felt it.
Well, if you don't like Gritty, they do make Victory Green as well on the canvas. Nice. And I know you're a canvas fan.
I am a canvas fan.
This, as you can see, is on my...
And how much ridiculous amounts of money do they want?
It is on my watch list. $15.25.
Okay, it's still too much. At least it's not ridiculous like that other trash. See, there's two teams in hockey history that I hate. All right, the rest of them I can get mad at, I can have issues with, but there's two teams that I hate. And one is Montreal, which, everyone should hate them. And the second is Philadelphia. So I just hate them. I hate everything about it. I hate their fans. I hate their uniforms. I hate their history. I hate everything. I hate the guys who spray water in the mouths of the players, whatever. Wow. I hate them all.
Wow. So much anger. Jeez.
Let it burn.
Anyway, community posts so that you can select your favorite. Pick whichever one you like. All of them are there for different
I think
reasons.
the Zamboni drivers.
So Brandon, since you brought up the whole Vladdy Grand Slam and then tied it into Vladdy Senior, our friends, the Fanatics Overlords, are not ones to sit on their laurels when an opportunity presents itself.
They've already made the cards.
So available at this very moment, you can purchase a Tops Now card at the time that we're recording this, and it will still probably be available by the time this episode goes live. Look, I got to be honest, I'm tempted to buy a handful. The problem is the odds of getting anything decent are not great. Although I do appreciate that the chase they're going with, they do have some autograph chase cards.
Yeah.
So I also like the fact that they did the bat flip, and they do have various parallels available to it as well. Here's my thought process is this. The advantage, I suppose. So this is a catch-22 because on the one hand, the odds of getting a specific one, not super likely. However, because it is Canada, are a ton of people stateside necessarily going to buy this? Because certain ones do better than if this was like an Otani or something, the numbers would be astronomical. As it is, I'm sure a couple of thousand of them will be there. But like, if you buy even 5, you at least got a shot. Like,
I don't know what are the numbers now. I don't want to divert off of this particular example or your question, but there is something that maybe in a future conversation we can bring up about these, because I found something that was really weird with these Tops Now cards.
Sure. So actually, here's the thing. So I'll read them out to you. So you got your base card is your open edition. That's however many are ordered. That's 2 print to order. Then you've got the out of 50 gold foil, out of 25 orange, out of 10 black, out of 5 red, and then there's a 1-of-1 foil fractor.
Okay.
But there's also out of 10 autograph, out of 5 autograph, and a 1-of-1 autograph.
So you got 16 autos that you have a chance for, some numbered stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. What do you think the audience up in Canada will do on it?
So that's the part I don't know, Brandon. So like, here's what is interesting about it. The folks here are extremely passionate. So when a team is good, like, a lot of them are very casual. But listen, I guarantee you right now, as we speak, the merch sales on jerseys and hats and random Blue Jays swag is going strong. Now, not a lot of them may be aware of Tops Now. Now, here's the thing. Tops Now will ship to me in Canada. Obviously I have to pay a little premium for it, but for the most part, it's not too bad. Like, for example, in this scenario, if I bought 5 cards, it's $50, $10 a card, which isn't too crazy. And then shipping, of course, will be there as well. But at the same time, like, I've literally had Tops Now send me stuff. I haven't been super lucky in my Tops Now. But by contrast, Neo has actually done very well on the WWE ones. And WWE is way more popular than, like, say, the Toronto Blue Jays. So, especially the ladies and stuff like that. So it is possible. Now, Neo is an influencer. He does have, maybe he's got an in with the Fanatics Overlords. Although, Eric, have I not spoken the praise of the Fanatics Overlords?
Oh,
Fanatics Overlords.
Many times.
If you were to direct 1-of-1 autograph to, just throwing it out
even
there.
Just a regular autograph would be cool.
just saying. I think I'll probably grab a 5. That's probably good enough for me. I don't really need to go any deeper than that, but I think I'll probably grab a 5. I'd be curious to see what the print total is.
I actually was just thinking, speaking of Vladdy Jr. and autographs, me and the missus did a little pack war, box war type thing one time on the channel many moons ago, probably 5 years ago or so. And the first pack I opened, I pulled a Vladdy auto. So throwback to that.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Solid. I like it. Works out. Can't complain.
Well, good luck
that.
if you decide to partake in the Tops Nows.
Yep, already ordered. Done. I grabbed a 5. We'll take our chances. We'll give it a go. We'll see what happens.
Did you put a comment? I am in Toronto. Must give me the card.
Brandon, I just wrote #rigged.
Oh, okay. Okay. That you should get the clue. Yeah.
Yeah. #rigged. Do it. Follow me here. Fanatics Overlords.
All autos.
The homie hookup. We will sell out. I will sing your praises without any issue. Just saying. Moving on. So yes, so we connected that to the other one. All good. Let's go over here. So we are confirmed on that. Also, I'll be curious to see what the actual print total is. I'll be curious to see. That's kind of a fun one, though. By the way, that's the first Blue Jays franchise history Grand Slam. Period. So that's cool. 2 World Series, and that's the first Grand Slam that has been hit in the postseason. That's I was not aware of that.
So I was telling you guys while the game was going on, I was out to dinner with my friend, who is an enormous, out of control, very serious Yankees fan. And obviously the Blue Jays won game 1 decisively. And but you go, hey, whatever, it's a series, it's one bad game, blah blah blah. And as we're sitting there, and the Blue Jays are just destroying the Yankees, one run at a time, and it's getting worse and worse. But when that happened, he just got up and walked right out. He was in such a rage and boiling over at that point. He knew he had to go home and be able to scream and holler and throw and yell and spit and cuss in the privacy of his own home. Like, he got up and left in the middle of dinner. He was so mad. It was crazy. Oh my God. I'm laughing. I couldn't stop laughing. And then the score just kept going up and up and up. And oh my Lord. Yeah, he lost his mind. He was not any fun to be around today.
Shocking.
Not any fun at all to be around.
Eric, Brandon, this is the time for me to demonstrate my empathy. What is the most appropriate way to express this? Nailed it.
I got to be honest. I was kind of laughing a little bit myself, but then I'm sitting there alone at this restaurant for another whatever amount of time for me to finish my meal and have a Pepsi or two. And the football game was on the screen next to the baseball game. So I was kind of watching that, and I realized, another hour and a half has gone by since he got up and walked out. And finally I'm like, I should go home.
After the pickups will come back around to it. We'll talk about it for a couple minutes. I am enjoying it. So this is actually so I gave the story about how there was the postseason hat with the little patch thing. So this is the postseason patch version, aka an excuse to resell the same fucking hat with a stupid patch on the side of it for too much money. That's this. But I do appreciate that, unlike the picture, as I said, they did actually give me a different one. So instead of having just the same one with the baby blue bill on here, I actually do have, it is a different hat. So at least it's a different hat. So that is nice.
Are these the, I'm trying to see. Yeah. I wanted to see the side of that hat. It is the Fanatic Overlords. Yes.
Oh, it's totally Fanatic Overlords. This is all Fanatic Overlords all the time.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
I also wanted noted for the record, Brandon, that, I am here rocking the Fanatics Overlords overpriced hat after I had ordered my tops now.
Yeah. Very well.
#rigged. Do it for me. Come on. Michael Rubin. Be a pal.
Be a pal.
Be a pal.
I mean, if they're going to rig anything, the card should go to Toronto. Let's just be honest.
I'm just saying, man. Just saying.
Be a pal.
Be a pal. That's all I'm asking. A little #rigged. Is that too much to ask?
I think that's fair. Be a pal.
Same. So let's talk some pickups. So this is a pickup indirectly, an overpriced pickup. So it is a pickup nonetheless. So Brandon has picked up some ComC stuff, but maybe we'll share that down the road. I know Eric, you've got a pickup here. So let me share one, and then I'll defer to you so that you can share some of the items as well. So give me a moment, and I will pull this up here. I actually got a little bit of a mix of a couple different things, and I will also share a little bit of story on one of them, as far as the shipping is concerned, because on the live, I did mention the whole thing with the Canada Post strike, and I said how I'm sympathetic to it, but also it's resulted. And I did get a notification as well that Stallion Express will be delivering one of my items. So in other words, in Canadian stuff, there's still couriers that can do it.
Is the
Or
strike
some
getting
luggy.
closer to being over, or is it still just full bore?
Oh no, God no. They're as close to being over as the Bruins are to winning 12 straight Stanley Cups.
Oh, that's not good.
No, not close. Nothing is over. So yes, not so much. The overness is not there. So we'll see. All right. It's saying that my package is the driver's next stop. So if I
Ooh.
magically vanish, then you'll know why. I will give credit to the one courier. I am getting email notifications. That's not a joke. I literally have my tab open and it just says your package from GTA is the next driver stop. Okay, good to know. Anyway, all right, real quick, I'll
Fancy
share.
system.
Well, it wasn't so fancy. I'll give a story in a second. It wasn't so fancy yesterday because it was supposed to be delivered yesterday. But I'll get back to that in a second. All right, let me show the first card here. This one actually came via ComC. I won't get it for a little bit, but I do want to share it because I think there's an interesting bit to it. So these are kind of fun. So it's the Legends Hollow Foils. So this is from one of the brand new SP Authentics. I'm a fan of this. I like it. It's going to have a hologram thing. This got kind of a hologram thing going. These are 1 in 120 packs. So kind of sneaky, these ones. You know, again, nothing crazy, but cool. Like I like the hologram thing. It's Medano.
Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
that's
bad.
cool. Yeah, I picked it up for like under $10. So that's fine.
Very nice then.
Yeah, so that's completely fine. Very more than acceptable. More than acceptable. The last one I'll save for last because I want to have air. This one was actually kind of fun. I won this last night. So this I actually won again. Fanatics Overlords. I won this on Fanatics Live. Hashtag rigged. Hashtag rigged. Hashtag rigged. Work with me,
that's
people. Yeah, so here's the thing. This is the Stadium Club. I actually have an autograph with this image on it. Again, I hate the Yankees, but I like Soto. So it was funny because on the live, I was asked questions like, oh, are you still getting Soto? It has to be the right Soto cards. There are certain Soto cards that interest me, not everything. I don't want everything, but there are moments and times where I will make exceptions and do. I actually have an autograph version of this from Stadium Club as well. I have one of the parallels of the autographs with the same image. However, this one is the 1993 design variation. So it's the same picture, but with the 93 Stadium Club design, which I actually think is nice and clean. I like the look of it. So it's a little bit short printed compared to the normal PSA 9, whatever. This I got on the Fanatics Overlords website, hashtag rigged, with $14, including the juice. It's a graded card, $14. It's a slightly SP. Not again, this isn't super crazy. It's not expensive. It's not whatever. But it's like, dude, it costs you more than $14 to grade the damn thing.
Yeah, it does.
So as far as I'm
That's
concerned, honestly, that's fine.
Yep.
$14 including the juice. That is fine. That is a solid value. I get a neat looking card. I like the 93 Stadium Club design. The picture's good on it. I'm a fan. I like it. And Eric, both of those purchases, very reasonable.
Yeah, sounds
Combined less
that's
than $25. Combined less than $25 in the first two cards that I just showed.
great. In all seriousness, that just goes to show you can still have fun in 2025 in this hobby for less, for low money. Not everything has to be hundreds and hundreds and then thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, there was some deals being made at work today. I'm just like, that is just stupid. It's crazy, right?
That's why I wanted to lead with those though. So there was strategy to it, Brandon. I wanted to make a point with those two pickups. Neither one of them will break the bank.
Yeah.
Both of them were very reasonable. And I actually purchased them again off of the Fanatics Live website, which has buyer's premium on it. I was able to get a nice Soto card, already graded, nice looking card. I like the design. I like the photo on it. $14 with the juice.
That's been a lot of. I'll share a couple of my pickups, not photo wise, but
Sure.
the Martin sites. You told me that those look nice. I picked up the Robertson and the Ottinger. I got the double helix of Rantanen.
See, you suck because I had one sitting in a
Oh, you
pile.
had one sit. Well, it was.
That was sitting on the pile for you. I had the
What did
Martin
I
site.
pay? It's
Just
$3.
pure
Whatever.
disgrace.
I haven't shipped
Pure
it. I
disgrace.
can put it back up for sale.
I was gonna say you should. I have it here. I have it here on the Bobbles for the Bobbly Man. I got it right here.
Yeah, but like I've been grabbing some of that stuff. You said the the double helix. You got the Ottinger of that.
Yep.
So I picked up a
Those are nice
Rantanen.
cards.
I got
Those
a
are nice cards.
Rantanen, hot numbers, you know.
Mm.
So I've been scouring Comedy a little bit, picking up the scraps. The one that I don't know much about, I don't know if I showed you it or not. It's an Upper Deck MVP,
Mhm.
and it's the Heart Hopeful set. They're out of
Okay.
10, and I got an Ottinger for $6. I don't know where the cards came from because I can't find them on any checklist. It's something about a e-pack pack battle type thing or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They
I don't know.
do
It was out of
they do what's
10
called
with
pack wars. They do
Ottinger.
what's called pack wars.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. It was an Ottinger out of 10 for $6. I was like, well, it's a cool looking card. Out of 10, I'll take it. So
Nice. All right. My official, and we're doing it live. You're all watching on replay. It says my item was delivered successfully. I'll be the judge of that. I'll be right back.
Okay.
So Eric, if you want to share a couple of pieces, feel free to share some pickups.
Yeah,
I will
sure.
come back in momentarily.
So I had a great opportunity. I had a buddy come into the shop last week and say, "You'll never believe this. I'm an idiot. I agreed to drive 2 days straight. I guess not straight, but a 2-day drive to Indiana, do a signing, and then do a 2-day drive home in a U-Haul truck filled to the brim with things to get signed." And I heard the word Indiana, and I said, "Are you going to see Larry Bird?" And he goes, "Yeah, I gotta go. I agreed to go help Doug do this signing. We're leaving tomorrow, and no, we're leaving. No, he's like, we're leaving at 2:00. I'm like, oh my god, I got, my mind's going crazy. I have pieces at home that I'd love to have Larry Bird sign, but I don't have time to leave work, go home, come right. So I start running around the shop, and there's tons of Larry Bird stuff. Most of it's already signed. Some of it's not worth getting signed. But I found this. I found a ticket from Larry Bird night at work, paid for it, and sent it to Indiana last week. And Larry Bird did this signing for these guys that I know. And they slipped this in, and Larry signed it in blue Sharpie. PSA was there. So we got the PSA authentication sticker on the back. This is only the second Larry Bird autograph that I have. I have a card that I keep here. So I now have 2 Larry Bird autographs, one sticker auto card, and one, on piece hard signed on a Larry Bird ticket. So I would have, if I was there doing it myself, I would have had him do it in green paint pen. But beggars cannot be choosers, and I'm very happy to have it done in blue Sharpie. I'm going to talk to our framer at work and try to come up with a small but nice looking frame for it. I was thinking something just a little bit bigger than about this size, maybe the plastic, and then have a Celtics patch, similar to what I did for the Eddie Shore with the Bruins patch. And
I just have to say, Eric,
yeah,
there is a company that could get that protected very well for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
In a holder the size of your house.
Authenticated.
I got PSA did that.
Yeah, but then it's double authenticated.
Double
no
authenticated.
Questions asked, right?
Okay, but it
might even say witnessed.
It would be big enough to use as a sail on a very large sailboat.
You could literally probably change out your wooden door with it, and then you could just have it there as part of the house.
Now you're thinking. That would be cool. Have a giant Beckett slab with this in the middle for the door. That would be, now you're thinking. See, that's why I keep you around. Nice job.
So I have a live update. So they did deliver my package, which is good. They finally followed my instructions. Initially, now for the record, I ordered this from Slab Sharks. So Slab Sharks, they get the job done. They sent it by a company called Chit Chats, which we've talked about in the live before. And they use different couriers to be the last mile, basically the one who delivers it. Like I said, we've got a Canada Post strike, but stuff still gets delivered. I'm sorry to tell people, like, there are companies, that third-party companies, that will do it. Like, and again, you notice I was saying throughout this recording, I'm getting updates. All right, drivers, your next stop is the next stop for the driver, and blah, blah, blah. Now, I did get a similar thing on Sunday. However, I also on Sunday received, and I thought, oh, Sunday delivery, that's kind of crazy. Okay, cool. But then at the same time, the driver like randomly called me. The problem is I didn't know it was the driver because there's some random name that I got. And I won't speak for anybody else, but I screen my calls. If I have no idea who the fuck you are and I get a random phone call, I get enough spam calls that I have no interest in answering the phone. I send you the voicemail. And if you don't leave a message on voicemail, I don't know who you are. Like, you give me a random phone call, I'm not answering it. So sorry. But it turns out it was the driver. And then they said, oh, we couldn't deliver it. And the thing is that I sent a quick message to the support thing, and apparently they only tried to deliver twice, and then they resend it back to the sender. And I was like,
Ooh.
that's dumb. So today was the second delivery. So that's why it was important that I make sure that I get it. But I did send them a message yesterday, and I told them, hey, hey, the guy called, but at the same time, like, what's the deal with the thing? And they go, oh, they didn't have the unit number on it. I'm looking at the envelope right now. It has the unit number right on it. It says it right there. I can see it. So I'm like, not so much. And by the way, for the record, this has nothing to do with Slab Sharks. They did their job. I will actually share the pickup, but for the record, this is the back of the envelope. I don't know if you can tell that there's a little bit of darkness there. It looks like somebody stepped on the back of the envelope.
Yeah,
It looks like
looks like a footprint to me.
Yeah, there's like a little footprint there. And I was sitting there like, what are y'all doing? The good news is, the good news is that Slab Sharks has these little boxes they put the stuff in, so it's like whatever. The card's fine, but I was like sitting there, like, all right. So anyway, so this was the card that I had purchased.
Nice.
Oh, yes. I love that brand.
Yeah, so Ultimate, we got a nice on-card auto there from Medano. So there it is.
I thought that was the cup logo up in the corner. I couldn't see it much when you were.
No, this one is Ultimate. So nice. This one, but Ultimate does a very good job. Like, they've got some very clean designs on this, nice and solid. Ultimate is very much upper decks. I can't believe it's not the cup, because it is a little bit more. Now, I'm not saying it's affordably priced. I'm not crazy. But I'm saying it's more reasonably priced relative to the cup, and you're still getting some very nice pieces. Yes. We're grading on a curve here, but you're still getting some nice clean cards, on-card autos on there as well. It's like good solid look on it, and you got a nice little reflective shine on it. So there you go, another addition to the Medano collection. So that is my 366th certified auto for Medano.
And
another one to the pile. Oh, we need all of it. So another one to the pile, and that's another addition to the collection. And I will share one more, but before I do, so this one literally, no joke, this one literally came in while we're recording this podcast. I got the updates while we were doing it, and I literally got it in hand right as we recorded this. Now, question, Eric or Brandon, is there anything you'd like to share? I do have one more thing that I am going to share that is being sent to me by Stellan Express. I don't have it in hand yet, but I would like to show it off because I think it's a neat looking card, and I'll show it when it arrives again in a video. But is there anything you'd like to share that was a pickup? Otherwise, I can go to the last one that I've got.
Like I said,
I'm just going to stick with the Larry Bird tonight. I'll add the other stuff I can show off another time.
All right.
All of my stuff's ComC purchases right now. I'm actually...
Well, the holo card that I showed you was ComC too. Because I know I'm consolidating it for a while. I don't mind sharing. I literally just pulled the image off the ComC. Eventually, I'll get it shipped.
Yeah, I guess I could have done that, but
I bought it.
Maybe next week I'll have some pulled up or something. But I'm trying to behave and limit the buying.
That's why those first two items that you saw. Yeah, that's why those first two items you saw were, like I said, a combined $24.
Yeah,
for the most part, like I tried to keep it, even keel. Try to keep it chill.
I have a number in mind that I'm going to try to behave at in partaking in the expo. We will see what happens, But
It
yeah,
depends on how powerful that Robertson pump is, Eric. That could be low six figures, high five figures.
you know,
Get crazy.
there's not really there's not a lot of stuff of his that I've looked at or seen, and I don't want to harp on Upper Deck, but outside of like the 90s design stuff that they do, like the insert type designs, a lot of the newer stuff I'm just not attracted to. I'm not really interested in it. And so I've been actually buying some other players, just finding stuff that's even before his time of things that they made, Dallas Stars guys or whatever. But being there at the show, I guess it's going to, me and her watched a video earlier of walkthrough and stuff like that. And I think being at a show that's majority hockey is going to be such a different place for me that there's going to be stuff that I haven't ever seen before or I'm unfamiliar with, So
I can assure you of that, yes.
And there's also like you mentioned the package and that black mark on it. There was one card one time that I was so excited that I got. And when it got here in the mail, it was in a poly bubble mailer, but it literally looked like it had gotten stuck on like the conveyor belt or something, and the package was just destroyed, and then it was inside of a PSA slab that was literally just in pieces, like shattered pieces. And that was a Gordie Howe. It was the reprint rookie auto. Back, I was buying some of those, and I liked the autographs on the reprint rookie. It was a nice look to the autograph, and I got it for a great price. The seller did everything they were supposed to, and the shipping aspect of it just got destroyed. And I was so sad because I've not came across another one nearing the price that I was able to get that one for. So
gotcha.
I have not replaced it. So it might be one that I look for up there. Or a Gordie Howe auto, maybe.
There's going to be a few opportunities.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm purchasing them all.
Oh, do we have commitment and confirmation of that?
I come home with more and more Gordie Howe autos every year. It's stupid how many I have. I just keep buying them. I don't know why.
It's the concussions. You're a sick man.
Yeah, well, it's true. You do get a concussion.
Indeed. Yes. So it will be, I think, it will be, again, we've still got some weeks left, but it will be interesting to see. I would actually enjoy getting Brandon's take on our lovely little expo when the time comes. By the time he comes back, he comes in and you see him as a man from the South, possibly fighting for the Confederacy once upon a time. By the time he goes back, he goes, "Hey, we're all hosers." By the time he comes back, he's like full blown. He'll be like, decked out. He'll look like a lumberjack. And it's like, oh my God. He'll be basically guzzling Canadian maple syrup by the time it's all said and done. It's gonna be crazy.
I'm excited. I'm excited to get away for a bit and hit a show. I went to the National in 2022. I have experienced that. I went to Chantilly numerous times, smaller shows, obviously. But yeah, I'm excited to see it. So
yeah, I think you're going to find it's a more chill experience than the National. We have our fun. It's a good size show. It's a lot of, there is still enough stuff going on to keep everybody engaged, but you can take as much or as little out of it as you want. I enjoy still partaking in a chunk of it, but there are other people who absolutely throw themselves into it. They're out there for the trade nights, which have started to crop up, and there's a whole different segment to it.
Something that I told her, and I don't know if this has ever been discussed or even thought about, but so you have, everybody knows the National, and now you got the Fanatics Fest, and obviously there's Chantilly, Dallas, all these other shows, right? But it's impressive to me that with hockey being, we'll call it the fourth sport, the lower of the four main, right? And how little of it is at other shows. Those shows are a mix. Like it's not just all baseball or all football or all basketball. And you can have that show have such a large space filled, and it is a very large percentage focused on that one sport. which happens to be the smaller of the 4 major sports. So that's really impressive. And I get it's Canada, but still, you know, you're not going to see someone in the States say, yeah, we're just going to do an all football show. Like it, and I know that's not what the expo says, but it's cool to see that even though the perception here, hockey is a very small, you know, genre in nature, that it is capable of handling and putting on a show of that size that is majority focused on hockey.
It's awesome. Except for the far left corner where Bobby hangs out. That's where the Pokemans are. Okay.
Ooh.
And it's almost like a Comic Con over there. And Bobby dresses up like Sailor Moon. And yeah, it's crazy. And he's up and down the aisles, kind of skipping and happy. He's never seen the man so happy. And he's up and down the aisles doing Pokemans and stuff and magic cards, and he loves
He's catching them all.
Oh, he's catching them all every day. He gets in early, he leaves late. He's got the dealer pass. He loves it.
Can you read your subheading there, Eric, for me?
I think it says prayer of the betrayer of the Burrell, bougie Jesus, Judas.
No, not Jesus, Judas.
Judas. Yeah,
it's quite the bougie Judas he is.
So you won't if you're looking for Bobby at all during the time of the show, far left corner.
Wow, indeed. Yep. There you go. All right. So speaking of the hockeys, we'll finish off again. Believe it or not, Brandon, my favorite part about this whole thing is that we started off with the whole concept of this light news week, and we have gone this far, and we're not even done the goddamn pickups. That is. All right. I got one more that I'll share with you real quick. This one's coming by Stallion Express.
Awesome bucket.
That's what I'm saying. It's going to be exciting. I figured you'd appreciate that. All right. So let me give a little context as well. All right. So this is actually from the new artifacts. So what happens with a lot of the new Upper Deck products is I always look to see, usually Medano's in the Legend rotation. So I always look to see if they throw anything of him in there. This one is actually artifacts. They wanted to do different themed stuff depending on different things. This one is actually a piece of the bench from Madison Square Garden. So the thought process was they would have a memorabilia piece from Madison Square Garden, and then obviously take a picture of Medano playing at Madison Square Garden, have the autograph thrown in there. So that's the combination they said. There's only 2 cards they've got at Artifacts for Medano this year. It's this one, and it's the retirement night ticket card. That's the other one that exists. So this is one of the 2 that I saw in there. I saw a seller that listed it, and I was like, all right, I made him an offer. I made him an offer they couldn't refuse, Eric, and they accepted my offer that they couldn't refuse, and I purchased this item.
I like it. I like the idea of it. I would rather have it be from the Dallas arena, his home arena.
Tell it to the Artifacts folks, man.
Yeah.
They have got a whole subset based on Madison Square Garden. That's specific. They went with the arena.
And my other question is, he's wearing a white uniform. When he played, I believe white was home, dark was away.
They did change it at a certain point. I don't remember the year.
So I'm not 100% sure of the year either, but I believe when he played, white was home, dark was away. So he would be in that picture. I'm thinking he is in Dallas, but I'm not 100% sure.
So, God, I hate always critiquing, but
critique away. Do it.
All right, I get the little play off the benchmarks word with the bench and autograph. But I don't really care if that piece of wood was from the pew, since Eric said it, Jesus. I don't get those, like, that bench was probably pretty large, right? Why couldn't you give it some color? Like, it's just a piece of damn wood. It's not signifying anything. I don't like the back cards that just have the little sliver of the damn back, because you know that it's cut so thin that they made thousands upon thousands of them, and it's so little significance. And you have a great player, you have a Hall of Famer, and the card is literally showing him on the bench.
Well, that actually would make sense on this
It is
one.
thematically appropriate, yeah. Now, Eric,
It's
by the way,
theme appropriate, but
it is theme appropriate, yes.
is that what we're wanting? Are we wanting cards of the Hall of Famers of our sports that we enjoy, and images of them just chilling on the bench? That's what we all go for.
If the photo, and again, we're critiquing. That's what we do, right? We're never happy or satisfied.
Somewhere Billy is often like he's literally punching the air right now.
If that
punching it,
if the photo is really of him sitting on the bench at Madison Square Garden, it's clear it's Madison Square Garden. Maybe there's Ranger fans. You can see Ranger jerseys.
So by the way, Eric, real quick, as an addendum to your question from earlier, since 0304, teams wore their colored uniforms at home.
Okay, and he retired when?
2010-11.
Okay,
that leaves 7 seasons.
All right, so get a photo of him. Okay, whatever. You absolutely make sure that the fan who's purchasing this card knows that's at Madison Square Garden. There's something on the boards that say it. You can see people wearing Rangers jerseys behind them. Something that you absolutely know that photo is from him sitting on that bench at Madison Square Garden. That's the stuff we want to see as fans of this. I think, we critiques this stuff. We stare at this stuff. We don't just take and go, okay, I own this now. Okay, no, we sit there and we stare at it and we hold it and we move it around and we look at the back. Make sure the photo is actually of him. Prove it to us. Have something that signifies that it's absolutely him at Madison Square Garden, and that will make it that much more enjoyable to us.
My biggest thing is and in fairness, or to be fair, if you want to go for it, Eric.
Ooh.
To be fair.
It was a cleanly designed card. I get the play of the benchmarks. It's almost like they're trying to come up with quirky things because they need to add more and more and more and more into the product. And the whole and the bench thing, that was my whole thing. Like,
gonna be water bottles next, so just hold on.
Yeah, or some, so that was my thing with it. And if you were going to do that, it would have been nice if like the bench had some sort of coloring to it. I'm not a fan of the wood, the plain wood piece, whether it's bats or the bench or whatever. I think it's cool. Madison Square Garden, MSG, that's an all-time facility up there.
I 100% agree with you. I want a finished piece. I want the paint. I want the shellac. I want whatever it is. I don't just want a piece of 2x4. Okay, that I can make out in my garage. I want exactly what you're asking for. And that means there's going to be less made, which makes the card more valuable. And, not only more financially valuable, but more valuable to us as collectors, because now it's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So yes, I only want to see pieces of the outside of the bat, the outside of the hockey stick, the outside of the bench, the outside of the boards, whatever it is that you're cutting up and putting out there. I want the finished side. I don't give me the guts and just, look at this little splinter of wood. No, I go to my garage and I can make that card, right? And that's not what we want. So I agree with you 100%. I want the finished product. I don't want splinters of internal wood. It does nothing for me.
There you go. The Bobbles and the Eric have spoken. That said, I just collect Medina certified autos.
That's why I wanted to
for me.
I wanted to say it was a cleanly designed card. I knew your take
Yeah.
on it was a Medano, the
Yeah,
autograph.
I very
It was
much
a nice
I have
looking
a
card,
theme,
but yeah,
and because it's the Madison Square Garden one, and then the Colisée, the Nordique's old arena. Those were the two stadium specific relic
Yeah.
themed sets that they threw in there. And like I said, for me, the Medano. So my interest level on it is because in that checklist, they only put two Medano cards in it.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the two. The other one was, and speaking of, you want to talk about the thing. The second card is the retirement night ticket. It's a ticket from the night he retired.
yeah.
And I think it was a celebration night. And it's literally him in a suit is the picture, and then the ticket is the ticket from that night when he's I think it was like his jersey maybe retirement ceremony. I don't think it was even his retirement night. It was like his jersey retirement night.
So it was post playing days,
Yep.
and yeah,
And so those are the only two cards. So the thing is for me, am I going to prioritize that over a playing days card? I am not. However, I like the fact that they only have two cards. So the fact
right.
that the one card is out of 25 and the other card's out of 10, and that's it. So basically, I got one of the two, and if I can get my hands on the other two, then I'm done that set. I literally have both cards. So for me, it's like, okay, if I can get my that one was a little bit more interesting because I like the fact it's autographed on there. I agree with your points about the memorabilia. Although, to be fair, don't worry, Eric, we'll skip you on this one. But to be truthful on that, it's still a step up from not from any specific event, not from any specific thing, not from any specific whatever. Like at least they're willing to stand behind. Like, no, this is actually a piece of the bench from Madison Square Garden. Thematically appropriate to the. And I gave you the year, so Medano played with a white jersey in Madison Square Garden for 7 seasons, so that's fair. That's fine. So that picture could very reason. It's whatever Getty image they got that picture from, because again, they borrow from the Getty images all the time. So probably somebody can go pull the Getty image and go compare that picture. There's a reasonable chance it was from Madison Square Garden.
I hope.
Yeah.
But I just think that, they have the ability to get a shot that we, the fans, and go, yep, this is absolutely a picture from Madison Square Garden. Just tie it all in. That's the stuff.
So maybe to your point. Maybe to your point, Eric. Maybe they should have taken a page out of what they did with the same series, same artifact set, because they have a puck insert as well. And on the puck insert, they will take a piece of the puck, but also put the date on which the puck was used. So you can link it to a specific game.
Love that stuff, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's the stuff we're looking for. That's awesome.
I wish that we could get them. I know they do it on some of the higher end, and not just up like I'm talking in general. There's the ability today for them to give us those little stickers, the authentication stuff, whatever, that's tying it. Because, even then, if it's just a solid piece of jersey, well, you're saying it's game use. Okay, what game?
Sure.
And that gives it even more, relevance to it. Take, for instance, the Flacco, the Wacko for Flacco. What did I do when I read the back of that card? And although that was just a rookie debut photo shoot jersey, the date being on it, I shared that with you guys because that date was significance to me. There's like maybe there's somebody that wants to collect stuff from their birthday or whatever. There's ways to add elements to the collecting side of it if we have that information.
And I just about special things that happened during the game, like we were showing that Tops Now card with Vladdy, right? Can you imagine they put out a card with that jersey he's wearing, those pants that he's wearing, those cleats that he's wearing, that bat he was holding, right? Those are the game used pieces, and on the card has that photo with the game used piece and the date saying these are the cleats he was wearing. This is the shirt he was wearing. This is the patch that was on his jersey at the time he hit this grand slam on this date. Holy crap. Do you know how much that thing would be worth?
So Eric, on some of them, so in the spirit of, giving the Fanatics Overlords their due, #Greg, #rigged, seriously, #rigged. They do on some of the Tops Now they do in fact link it to a specific event. So they will do that. And WWE is a really good example of where they've used this quite a bit. Is they'll have like so and so, this is their moment at WrestleMania. Here's a piece of the mat from WrestleMania, this specific event, this specific thing, and we can tie the two together. And
They
then
just
for some of the
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
They just did it for the prospect at Penn State.
Yeah.
His
McKenna?
debut
Yeah.
game, they like have a patch thing or whatever.
Yeah, so they can. So one thing that they've got with a lot of their connections with the leagues is they can actually do that. And in some cases, they've specifically gotten it. Here's the base from the game where they did X, whatever it is. And they can link it to the, and it's
Yeah.
got the little sticker that Brandon was talking about. And when you scan the sticker, it'll show that that is a base from the specific game where they did whatever accomplishment it is, whatever. Here's a piece of jersey from the game. Here's a piece of base from the game. Here's a piece of this from the game. But here's the specific game, date, time, the whole 9 yards. It's all there.
Yeah. I think that, and that may be more difficult to do on a base project, but product. I'm sorry, but in something like the cup or other sports is sports most high end stuff. Man, that stuff would go. That's for so much money, and it would go like wildfire if it hit that special event stuff. Think again. I don't want to go over it again, but like that Vladdy Homer. Can you imagine what that would go for? It would just.
I think it would help it. I think it would. There's definitely would be a draw for a lot of the Jays fans right now.
For anybody, for any baseball fan, baseball card collector, that would just be what a crazy piece,
Yeah. So kind of in that vein, though, I'm never going to complain as a Jays fan. I'm never going to complain, and this is the reason why. And I'll say this: the reason why here right now. I got a chance to watch my team win 2 World Series. There's a lot of fan bases that didn't get that, haven't had that. So even though I was younger when I got a chance to see it, so here's here's the Juan Soto example, and then you see the little sticker on there.
Yeah,
a little blurry, little blurry.
Yeah, maybe back it up just a smidge.
Oh, right there.
Yep, there it is. I got it. Yep, I got it. Yep, right there. I got it.
Yeah, so this was from, obviously, you see there the wild card game. This was, as Carlos was talking about, one of the bases, and it's, recapturing the hit that Soto had that put the Nationals in the lead, and it has the authentication sticker and everything on it that shows it was from that game. So,
yeah, which is something they've been able to leverage. So again, Michael Rubin deserves a lot of criticism for a lot of things, but again, we will also speak of praises. #Rigged. But that is something that is a nice feature for the fan of the specific thing that where you can link it to a specific moment, a specific game, the only reason I got that, I like Vladdy Jr. And the fact he re-signed, I think is a really good. So this, maybe Brandon, you'd appreciate this. This is the whole thing. Everybody just assumed that eventually that he would just end up signing somewhere else for more money. Now the Jays are paying him a crap ton of money. $500 million is no joke. That's like Eric Lake.
but you got a cornerstone piece now.
Yeah, but here's the thing. What's underplayed, because again, he did spend a good chunk of his life, abroad and elsewhere. Vladdy Jr. was actually born in Canada. He was born in Montreal, where his dad played.
Sense, right?
So he does still have. And the thing is, in the time when he re-signed, he was like, "No, this is my home too." And so I think you'd appreciate this, Brandon. Like he literally played into that fact. No, this is my home too. Like my dad played in Canada, and I got drafted by a Canadian team, and I'm playing for this. His English isn't the best, but it's improved, and he's committed super long term to the team. Now he made a crap ton of money, no doubt, no question, but it sent a good message. What's funny, and this is why I say, like, I won't spend too much time on this, but I just want to reiterate this point. Going into the off season, coming into this season, everyone just assumed he was going to end up signing somewhere else, and he was going to be gone. It was whatever. What a turnaround! Not only did he re-sign, he re-signed long term. That's basically a lifetime contract to finish his career in terms of time. We'll see if he makes it to the end of that, whatever is going to happen. But in terms of years and everything, in term, it's a lifetime contract effectively. He re-signed there. He's embraced it. He's taken on as part of basically, he's like, no, I want to be here. Like, I'm here for it. And then the team would go on to win the division. And where they're sitting right now, they're up 2 games to nothing. Maybe they still lose the series. Whatever happens, happens. But it still sent a very strong message to everybody from where the season started, preseason, to where they're sitting right now. They're sitting there going, man, holy crap. So, and that's the guy that's going to be here next year and the year after that and the year after that in terms of years and term. So it's like, so the bat flip thing, first, you know, he gets the first postseason grand slam in franchise history. That's pretty good. So it's a moment. And there's been, you know, one other famous bat flip, but so that was a good one. Again, they still have to finish the deal, but very impressive. Very impressive. Very enjoyable. A lot of fun with this one. All right. So believe it or not, a mere 90 minutes in, we finished the pickup segment. The worst. We are the worst today. Eric, our time management is atrocious today. This is bad.
This is supposed to be an hour and a half show, so I think we entertain people enough. I think we should say goodnight and whatever we have left.
All I heard from you, Eric, was in perpetuity. All I heard from you is in perpetuity. Those are the words that are coming out of your mouth. In perpetuity is what I'm hearing. All right. Let me give you a quick music review, and then we'll finish up with a quick topic at the end. All right. So on the live stream, it was shared with me from one of the I think it was Hobby Champs who said it, and was talking about Matthew Good EP. So I'll explain. Eric's had a lot of concussions, so he doesn't. So he forgot initially in the pre-show that I have mentioned Matthew Good previously. That's how Hobby Champs knew that. Again, I believe Eric's had a lot of concussions.
I believe you have an autographed
CD. I literally showed it on this podcast. Yes, yeah. I literally showed it.
And my memory sucks. Eric.
Yeah,
and I remember the CD.
How many trees have you hit with your face?
I don't know.
Oh well, see.
That's why George Washington was cutting down the cherry tree. It was to get out of the way.
Yeah,
jerk.
I've hit a lot of.
So anyway, so Matthew Good is my favorite musician. I've enjoyed. I have all of his albums. I have a bunch of his EPs because obviously LPs and EPs. So I've got a bunch of his EPs as well. So I've enjoyed a lot of his stuff. But I will say this. I'll preface this by saying that in recent years, a lot of his stuff, he's started to experiment a little bit, which again, if you're an artist, again, a lot of his prime stuff, for me, his prime period where he was at his best was 3 albums consecutively that he did. One was called Beautiful Midnight, which was actually his biggest selling album here and also in the States, because he actually sold a fair number of that particular album in the States at the time. Audio of Being, which was also with him, was called the Matthew Good Band. So those were Matthew Good Band albums, the first 2. And the last one was called Avalanche, which was a solo album. So those are the 3 albums consecutively. There were 3 in a row that I think were his best stuff. The combination of everything where he pretty much hit the nail on the head in terms of getting everything. And since then, he's produced a whole bunch of albums, but most of them are pretty good. But at the same time, it's one of those things where as an artist goes a long time, and to put it in contrast, Avalanche came out in 2003. We're in the year 2025 of our Lord. That is the last of that trilogy of albums that I was just talking about. That's 22 years ago. So what happens is, well, you're 22 years older. You've had more experiences. He's somebody who has actually had, I think, bipolar disorder. And he had a drinking problem, and he had a whole drug problem, a whole bunch of stuff going on. And then you add 22 years, all kinds of stuff. You at a certain point, you start experimenting because you probably said most of what you wanted to say. So now you're just kind of making music. Now that doesn't mean you don't come up with some decent ideas. I think in the years since, most of the albums have had at least a couple of tracks that I enjoy, although it's become less so over time. So then Hobby Champs mentions this EP. I hadn't heard about this, honestly. And again, I haven't been tapped in. By my own admission, I have not been as tapped in as I once was. Although I do have all of his stuff, and eventually I get my hands on. I did also order the album, Eric, the EP, because I have to have it for my collection. Speaking of collections. For the sake of having it with the rest of them, I got to get it. So, Eric, I have listened to the EP. I listened to it last night. I listened to it earlier today.
Can I ask one question? May I interrupt and ask one question? If you, and I'm being serious,
okay.
If you were to pick a genre that this gentleman is Matthew Good.
Matthew Good, yes.
If you had to pick a genre.
Yes.
Go
on.
If you had to pick a genre for him, what would it be? I mean, it's a heavy metal, easy
No,
listening.
he's kind of rock, kind of
R&B,
alternative rock. That's kind of where he sits.
alternative rock. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So you know, not super heavy, but he's definitely leaned more rock when he was in his peak. Definitely leaned more rock. Now, since then, he's played around with a little bit of folk. He's played around with a little bit of some different, you know, a little bit of pseudo country, a little bit almost kind of. So again, it depends on whether he wants to go acoustic or electric guitar. You know, he kind of moves back and forth between a couple different genres. For the most part, though, alternative rock is kind of the appropriate catch-all genre of the majority of his career. And that's kind of what I know him best as, and some of the other things, although he does have a lot of musical influences. Now, he does the CP. And Brandon, I found out more about the EP after the fact. I was fascinated by the history behind it because, again, I haven't been tapped in. I haven't been paying attention to it. The EP was called 0 Hours, and the album art looks like he spent 5 seconds on it. At least what, based on what I'm seeing currently. It looks like he spent 5 seconds on it. It literally just looks like text on a white background. Apparently, this was going to be a series of collaborations that he was working on. Apparently, he spent a couple of years working on this. And just to summarize, as best I can, basically since about 2020, he was accused of issues with lady friends in his life. Let's call it that. Issues. Let's use that verbiage. Again, did I mention he has like a bipolar disorder kind of thing? So he's on and off medication. Apparently he got back on, he you know, dipped back into alcoholism. He was always kind of pseudo right around there. To be clear, when he was at his best, he was basically bipolar. He was effectively out of his mind. I say this nicely. Now, he made amazing music, but that's not a good frame of mind that's sustainable. But he was very creative and he came up with a lot of good stuff. So I'm not terribly shocked, mitigating circumstances considered. I'm not terribly shocked that he struggled. And apparently both of his parents died. Like, he's had a really rough 5 or 6 last couple of years. And apparently he was working on this stuff. And then when allegations came out of issues that he was having with previous spouses and lady friends, the end result is that a lot of the people that were thinking about collaborating with him pulled out their acquiescence to releasing the material. To make a long story short, I'm just giving you the high level. So he's got this album that he was working on, these collaborations he's working on. So he's got this track listing. He's got all these tracks that he's recorded, but now he doesn't have permission to use the majority of these tracks. So effectively, he's got an EP. The EP is 6 tracks. It's 6 tracks in total. But for an EP, that's not shocking, honestly. For an EP, that's pretty standard. Now, I have it in front of me here, the track listing. I needed to give you the preamble so you understood the context. The context was important. But I will give you, Brandon, my short, brief review on the 0 Hours EP for Matthew Good. Here is my summary, and then I will explain briefly. My summary is, I don't know what the fuck I was listening to. I have no idea what the fuck is going on.
That's bad.
And that's as somebody who has been a fan and listening for comfortably over 20 years. And I have an amazing analogy that I think you'll appreciate in a second. So the track listings are, the first song is called A Corridor of Trees. The second song is called Lost and Found Kids. Now, Matthew Good traditionally is very good with his lyrics in terms of their deep. Now, I will make a quick caveat. When I listen to music, I'm not a big lyrics guy in the sense that I kind of just, when I'm listening to a song, I know if I like a song or I don't like a song by how it sounds. The lyrics and the musician, the voice that is on it, can complement or take away from it. The instrumentation can complement or take away from it. When I'm listening to it, if I like a song or not is going to be determined by how pleasant it is to my ear to listen to the whole mix, all of it. I don't get too deep into lyrics myself, but I know he's got some deep lyrics traditionally because he does think about his lyrics. He does put thought into it, but that isn't my focus. Some people are really deep into lyrics. That's why I'm giving that caveat. So that's why I want to make sure I mention that. So I have no doubt that there is some deep lyricism in the first 2 tracks. The first 2 tracks are about as generic as it sounds. I wasn't super impressed with them. They were just there. Daylight Actual is the 3rd track. It's probably okay. It's okay. The 4th one is called Smoke. And he does a collaboration with a musician called Migo. Now here's where the criticism comes into this EP. I mentioned it was collaborations. Matthew Good doesn't sing one single bar or one single lyric on this entire song. It's his EP. Now, maybe he mixed it. Maybe he produced it. Like, I guess he was associated with it. Maybe he wrote all the lyrics. But I didn't hear him 1 second on that song. By the way, Smoke is actually pretty good. But if you had just played me the song, I would have known it was Matthew Good's song because he didn't sing on it. Just so we're clear. but it's a decent song for what I actually, to be honest, Smoke is probably my favorite song on this EP. And he doesn't even sing on the damn thing. Next one. It's called Triage, which I think is like a hip hop song. And the musician here is Socrates, who I've heard of. Again, he does actually sing lyrics on it, but holy crap. And the last one is called.
Isn't he hip like rap or
no,
something?
Migo is a lady. No, Migo, like Meggo, not Migos. Migo.
Oh, okay, because there's somebody else with a similar.
Yeah, Migos is somebody else. Yes, I know who
Yeah.
you're talking about. Yeah, that's somebody else. No. And Triage is the next one, which is that hip hop song, basically. And then Hollis is the closing track, Eric. And the closing track, Eric, is an instrumental jazz song.
Oh, how cute.
So basically, my explanation on 0 hours. So here's my final synopsis on 0 hours. It's not terrible. Certainly isn't. There's some songs on there that I actually think are pretty decent. But Eric, here's where my analogy comes in. And I think you'll appreciate this.
Okay.
Gene Simmons likes money.
Very much so. And he'll be the first one to tell you that.
Yeah. He'll brand almost anything with a KISS logo on it and take the money for it. He doesn't care.
Including a casket.
Correct. But imagine, if you will, in a world, like the old trailer themes, in a world. Here's the in a world. In a world, imagine a new KISS album, or just an EP in this case. Now imagine if the track listings include at least half the tracks where no one from KISS actually sings on it. And one of the tracks is a random hip hop song. And another one is a random polka song. And another one is a random ska song. How would you feel about that?
I would be greatly disappointed.
But also a little confused, don't you think?
Yes, I'd be wondering what happened to them.
Correct. Brandon, that's what I heard. I heard 6 tracks. 2 of them were generic. One of them was pretty decent, but he doesn't even sing on the damn thing. One of them is a jazz instrumental. I'm literally listening, and it's, to be clear, it's not bad, but I'm not a jazz guy, so I'm sitting there like, look, if you want to experiment, have at it, my man. Go to the lab and do what you're gonna do. But holy crap, I tuned in expecting a Matthew Good album, or an EP in this case. By the way, he's made multiple EPs, so I'm familiar with his EPs. I have no idea what happened. I have no idea what the fuck I listened to.
So, all right, let's see if we can measure this. 0 being 0 and 10 being Chris Gaines. Where are we?
Solid 3.5.
Okay. So he didn't go full Chris Gaines. All right.
No, like he did in fact have he does have lyrics in this.
He doesn't have an imaginary personality and a, and just complete ridiculousness. He was somewhere in the ballpark.
The thing is, so there's the first 2 tracks, I would say, are the closest to Matthew Good songs that I'm familiar with.
Okay.
But they're just really boring Matthew Good songs.
Yeah.
So it's like really low end Matthew Good songs, but they sound Matthew Good-ish because he actually sings on the damn thing. So, and like I said, there was another one there that, maybe this is the problem, Brandon. I've been a fan of his for more than 20 years, and I'm struggling to remember the songs that I listened to them earlier today. Daylight Actual is probably okay. It's decent enough for what it is. Like I said, I actually think my favorite track on this is called Smoke, and he doesn't sing on the damn thing. The lady who actually sings on it, she's good. I liked it. I thought she was good.
Guitar?
It's more electronic, that one.
Okay.
But she did a good job. Like I said, if you just played me that track, I'd say, hey, that's pretty good. But if you just played it to me without the context, you'd be like, hey, by the way, that's a Matthew Good song. Say what? So, huh? Where?
Right.
What involvement did he produce it? Did he write the lyrics? Like, what did he do? I didn't hear him on there. Are you sure? And that maybe is my point. So I have purchased this item because, look, as part of my collection, I'm going to have it, Brandon. But I got to say,
never going to listen to that again.
Ooh, no, I'll listen to Smoke. Again, it's actually a decent track. I like Smoke. I thought it was good.
Okay.
The rest of it,
It's like when Hootie and the Blowfish put out their second album, and you listen to it once, and you went,
wow, we
"Man,
got a Hootie and the Blowfish reference.
not gonna
Dang.
listen to that again."
Dang.
Hey, man, Cracked Rear View is one of the greatest selling albums of all time, and
This is true.
their second album was not one of the greatest selling albums of all time. So I did not want to be with you on that second album. But hey,
So on that bump,
at least Matthew Good isn't one of the top 5 greatest selling album musicians in the history of music, and just threw it all away and developed a completely different personality and came up with complete bullshit and tanked his career for a decade plus.
well, at this point, he's not going to take. At this point, he's not going to take his career. The stuff he's already done is already well established. But I will say though, like Eric, you talk about not changing his personality. He's still called Matthew Good. But did I mention jazz instrumental? Did I mention jazz instrumental as a track?
Yeah,
I'm not sure if I mentioned that. He's a very old white man. Like
he's 54. I looked it up. He's 3 years older than me.
He's like dead already. My God.
I punch you right in the mouth.
And when you're trying to do that, all your bones will crack and you'll disintegrate in front of
me. I do have arthritis. I do have arthritis.
Yep. Yeah. So anyway, so real quick, do you guys want to right now I gave my musical review. Look, this has been a surprisingly long episode, all things considered. So here's my question, guys. The rest of it we can have fun with a couple of minutes, but honestly, I kind of we can kind of shorthand a little bit of this. I don't know. How deep do you want to go into some of the random? The Sanchez thing is kind of funny, but outside of that, how deep do you want to go into some of these other miscellaneous topics?
I don't really need to comment on Sanchez yet because I don't think enough information's come out.
Oh, I just think the one question that we all need to ask, which will go down more in infamy, the fact that he got his ass kicked by a 69-year-old that he was trying to attack,
or the
butt fumble.
Butt fumble.
Butt fumble's still pretty bad, man. Gotta be honest.
It is. But I mean,
yeah, like we have footage of the butt fumble. We can literally replay the butt fumble for you right now. Like it's real bad.
I guess there's footage of this beatdown too.
There is, but I'm just saying, like we have direct, like literally right this moment that we're speaking. If I type in butt fumble on YouTube, I can pull it up for you right this second.
I'm interested in the footage of the incident that we'll call it, the alleged incident.
That's the thing.
Because I've seen some updated stuff that said he body slammed the guy, and that's why the guy stabbed him.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I don't want to really get into it and comment too much on it, give an opinion on something. There's not enough information out yet. He's in the hospital. He's up on charges. I guess this video, it's all going to come out, and then we can really start digging into it.
Oh, I'm sure it's going to get good.
Oh, we will. So why don't we do this? We'll finalize it up for on this one because you guys are getting almost 2 hours. And like I said, we barely got through most of the segments. And you got a music review. Now, what I need to know from the comment section, I need to know, should we, my brother Many Ninjas, he's indisposed. Even Eric Lakebutton might not be enough to get him out of retirement. So he might be done. But if you guys would like us to do a couple of movie reviews, maybe to the pals first. Maybe we'll give here's your exclusive pals. So here's an excuse for you to become a pal. Maybe you can get that. First, I need to know, do we do it? And secondly, we need some movie suggestions. Look, right now we got Slapshot, and I'm feeling Sudden Death. Sudden Death is classic. Classic. So you got there 2 possibilities. Maybe we can get up to 50. Like I said, we need about 3 or 4 to get up to 50. I think we finished at 46. You can all fact check me on that. Just check it. I only
remember 2 things from Sudden Death. All the Pittsburgh Penguin footage and seeing Yager playing in a movie on the big screen, which I thought that was cool. And him telling his daughter, "Don't leave this seat no matter what." And at the end of the movie, she's like, "Daddy, I didn't leave my seat, just like you told me." That's the only part of the movie I really remember. And then it being very diehardian. That's really all I remember.
Diehardian is a descriptor. I hope you all enjoyed that. Really is. But like I said, I need feedback in the comments section. We need some of that. And lastly, obviously, by the time we get this next episode recorded, we'll have the conclusion of it. So Jays are up 2-0. Go Jays. Hopefully they can finish it off against the Yankees, because we are an anti-Yankees podcast. I can say that definitively. Very anti-Yankees. Not a big fan of that. Plus, it lets Eric's employer suffer, which is funny.
Oh, God. Like, you don't even understand.
So I'm saying, don't do it for us. Do it for that. Do it to drive Phil insane. That'd be hilarious for all of us. Just throwing it out there. So, hopefully, cross our fingers. And also, Fanatics Overlords, I got you. Hashtag rigged. Come on. Join me. Join us. And also, thanks to AMG for supporting us as always. We'll be back with some regular stuff. Also, if there's any other questions or thoughts or comments, anything that you want, there were a couple of little mini topics we could have touched on. Maybe I'll do a video during this week. But Brandon, we got a lot of mileage out of whatever.
We covered a lot. We covered 24 miles in 1:50 with no breaks.
Whoa!
This could have been 7 hours.
Whoa! Whoa! There's a deep cut. There is a deep cut. You see from Eric's face. That cut, that knife was twisted. Did you see how that? See, on the audio, you don't get the full effect. That knife was twisted. It was twisted. Man. Ooh, brutal. Brutal. And on that bombshell, we're ending it now on this one. That's Eric Sanderson Store. Betrayer of the Burrell, Bougie Judas, and deserver of what just happened. Brandon Bobbles and ball cards coming in from out of nowhere and twisting the knife. Known associate of 540 Flips. 6-year anniversary on his channel of making videos. And eventually someone will comment on his Michael Taylor PC.
No.
Cross our fingers. One day. Maybe. But anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. We're back next week. Episode 149 on Canadian Thanksgiving. And then episode 150, we're doing it live. 5 years of live streams. Celebration. Eric will be there with bells on. Be very exciting. More videos coming up on the channel. Live streams on Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The longest running episodic, whatever it is. It continues. We are now 30 days out from Expo. It approacheth. Spooky season.
Break your shoes in.
Yes. Comfortable shoes for all. Catch you next one.